Welcome to the Sydney Cricket Ground for our coverage of the NEC big game between Eastern Suburbs and Parramatta. Both sides coming into today's match after wins last weekend. East 24-6 over Canberra, Parramatta 20-8 over Manly. When Parramatta and East met in the first round at Belmore, the Eels had a big win. The scoreline 34 points to 8. Parramatta are now chasing Canterbury for the third spot in the Winfield Cup Premiership after Canterbury moved ahead 2 points and bolstered their points 4 with their win over South Sydney yesterday. And meantime, Manly and Penrith will be eagerly awaiting the outcome of their respective matches today in their battle for the number 5 position. The Roosters team lineup for the match is Worth, Chalice, Williams, Gibbs, Ferguson, Filipina, Spina, Tobin, McGann, Dunn, Tessman, Simpkins and Brown. The Eels looks like this. Ella at fullback for Taylor, Lydiard, Cronin, Hunt into the centres, Atkins to the wing for Growth, Kenny, Sterling, Price, Laurie, Muggleton for Wynn, Sharp, Mosley and Jerd. The referee for the match is Kevin Roberts. So Parramatta running from left to right into a strong breeze coming from behind Eastern Suburbs from the Randwick end. McGann immediately replies to the Cronin kick-off, and David Lydiard will take it back for Parramatta. Tessman and Simpkins making the tackle. Sterling, Kenny, Cronin, Kenny again, or Gibbs got a shot in on Cronin. He may well have been set to make the tackle and couldn't pull out of it, but Cronin knows that he's been hit. I think it's a fraction late. What do you reckon? Penalty to Parramatta. Lower grades, East 22-18 in under 23s, and reserve grade, it could well have been a touch football match. So the tap will be taken 15 metres into East area. Parramatta with a lot of changes as we welcome into the telecast Bill Anderson.
Yes, good afternoon, Ray. I think that Eastern Suburbs are in this with some chance. At their very best they could win it, but of course Eastern Suburbs at their worst would cop a flogging, and while they're inconsistent, Parramatta haven't been inconsistent, and I've got to go with the Eels on that score.
So the ball has gone wide and centre kick by Atkins. There's a chance. Oh, Hunt got a hand to it. You'll see on this replay just how close it was, as Atkins centre kicked off his right foot, the wrong foot on this occasion, and Hunt got a touch to it. And this was the way it came to us on the lower ground cameras. Kenny was the man who started that move, and not only did he promote the ball to the left, he then also took a pretty heavy hit from Gibbs, who is a very, very strong tackler.
Gibbs is a strong tackler, but that breaks an indication of things to come. Parramatta have got tremendous strength out in the centres and in the 5'8" spot, and to my mind, while Eastern Suburbs have got power in defence there through Gibbs, that their centres don't read defence all that well.
There's Cronin working towards the blind side. Play just outside the East 22. Sterling. Short ball from Laurie to Muggleton. I'm of the opinion that Muggleton was having a look ahead. You can't take your eye off the ball. Here's the short ball from Laurie, and Muggleton didn't quite know where it was. Bill has said that Parramatta's got strength in the centres, Graeme, and I'm not trying to pick at him, but Neil Hunt, do you think he'll handle the centre all right?
Well, he's played a heap of first grade. He's proven himself before, Ray. I think their tactics are very obvious, Parramatta. They've handled the ball twice, and twice they've tried to find Eastern Suburbs out wide. They'd be crazy to try and take the Roosters on up the middle. That's been their weak point in the last couple of weeks. I think you'll see big games today from Cronin, this man, Stevie Ella, and Neil Hunt, the man you're talking about.
Well, the zip man is back to the halfway. He got rid of 3 of them. Tackled by Paul Dunn. Sterling, Cronin, Kenny. Drawing and committing, and then Muggleton. Gibbs coming across, making a strong tackle on him. From dummy half goes Lydiard. Away from one, taken by Tessman in the second. And play midway between 22 halfway east end of the ground. Sterling, Kenny sees an opening, tries to go into it. Simpkins makes the tackle with Filipina up the top. They're really throwing the ball about, Parramatta, and Sterling puts the kick in down into the Brawongle stand corner. Lydiard coming fast from behind the kicker. Quite legitimate play on the halfway. Played by Mike Mosley. Jerd running off the dummy half and a gain of some 10 metres. Sterling back and around for Mosley. They love the open spaces of the cricket ground, some of these Parramatta players, as they pick up a penalty within kicking distance for Cronin. 31 metres out, but into a very strong breeze. Coach John Money on his right is Ken Wilson, the former Newtown player. Very, very fine kicker of the football. Bert Bass, one of the lower grade coaches, then next to Ken Wilson. 32 out, almost in front for Cronin. He doesn't mind it. No, it's away. Wide. No score in the NEC. Holds it back. Testman in 11. Spina 7, McGowan in 9, making the tackle. Sterling, Cronin, Ella into the back line and put down by Lydiard. McGowan has the ball for Easts. Ella is no stranger to fullback. He's played there for Australia. A kick by Filipina, taken in by Muggleton, and again an ankle tapping tackle by Easts. Muggleton getting up slowly. Laurie, Muggleton unable to get to his feet. Sterling, good ball by Sterling. Ella tried to get rid of it, and they've still got possession. 3 tackles for the Eels. This is Hunt on the halfway. 4. Muggleton's ankle is getting treatment. Sterling. Whoa! Dave Brown came in and shelled at Sterling, and Sterling is very groggy. Price couldn't take it. It's going to be a scrum. But Sterling is in Disneyland at the moment. He took a very heavy hit from Brown.
He's a long way off the ball too.
Come on!
Spina. Tackled by Ray Price. McGowan. Taken by Sterling, so he must be all right. Spina. This is done. Jerd low, Laurie high. Spina. John Tobin. Mosley low, Sharp up the top. Spina. Filipina. Attracting a lot of attention from the Eels. A kick by Worth into the Paddington Hill corner. Ella going back for it. I was going to make the point, Ella from fullback. Fullback in rugby league is known as the bonus position, and he could prove the match winner for Parramatta back at fullback with so much territory to work in, and he can come into the attack whenever he wants to. Very dangerous player to contain from that position of fullback. Kenny, Gibbs coming over the top. Sterling, Cronin, Lydiard. Lydiard's outside 22 and 32 and over the 40. This is Atkins to the halfway line. Beautiful ball, putting Lydiard into a long, long run. Sterling, Lydiard again. Lydiard, he'll be getting tired. Inside 32 and caught from behind by Ferguson. Last tackle for the Eels. Sterling. Rubber kick into the corner. Taken by Worth. And it'll be a line drop out to restart. Graeme Hughes.
Thanks, Ray. Peter, only a minor leg injury.
Yeah, it's only a minor leg injury. It's just a cork in the left thigh.
The sides made their tactics fairly obvious. Play this ball out wide.
Well, it's been going this way this half so far with plenty of breaks being made. If we can continue that up, well, we might get this out right for sure.
All these injuries are certainly testing the playing strength of the Parramatta forward pack.
Well, we've got three players that have had Paul Taylor and Eric out in the backs and myself in the forwards, but the replacements to me are pretty solid with Mugger and Atkins and Hunt, and they'll do the job.
How do the forwards feel about the criticism that Parramatta can only win this competition through their backs?
Well, I hope all the opposition thinks that and let us forwards alone. We might now make a bit bigger impression with other teams.
See you back next week on deck against Parramatta?
Yeah, I'll be fit next week for sure.
Thanks, Pete.
Yeah.
Graeme Hughes talking, of course, to Peter Wynn. Here's Parramatta, just 15 metres out from the line. Sterling, Kenny, and beautifully picked up by Atkins. Inside for Hunt. 11 metres out. Tackle number 5. Sterling will probably bomb. Here he is. Watch it now. Worth getting some cover, but Price has scored, I think. Yes, it's a try. How many times have we seen it before? The leap of a Price or a Kenny scoring tries here at the Sydney Cricket Ground, or for that matter anywhere. Off the boot of Sterling, Ray Price went right up above them, and it's a 4-pointer for Parramatta. Makes a specialty of it, Ray Price, as does the man alongside him, Brett Kenny, coming off the boot of the little blonde-headed number 7, Peter Sterling. Well, I think most people in Sydney Rugby League would agree that when this man hits his strap, Sterling, if you thought the Parramatta backline was good, then with him firing, it's certainly going to be an awesome sight during the final series. Cronin converts. Parramatta leading East 6-0 in the NEC Big. Price, Sterling, Jerd, good passing along the back line. Muggle into Atkins. Beautiful chain of rugby league passing to the halfway. Now it's the zip man. Over 22. Here comes Ferguson. Ferguson's got him. Ferguson, a great run. And Ella pats him on the backside and says, geez, Tilly, you must have been travelling. Because I was flat strapped.
It was a great break, this one by Ella. As a good fullback, he backed up on the inside, took the pass. He was carrying the ball in the wrong hand, really. I don't think he expected Ferguson to get there, but get there he did.
Well, there's a beautiful shot of Steve Ella, one of rugby league's great modern-day players. And the man who picked him up, Johnny Ferguson, he covered more ground than the early explorers to get to him. Sun coming in and coming out here at the cricket ground, which you shutterbugs would know more about than I would. A penalty to Easts. Well, of course, the purists will tell you that rugby league without defence is boring, but I'll tell you what, there's a lot to like about the attack of this Parramatta team, and some desperate tackling from East, particularly by John Ferguson. Some heavy hitting from Ron Gibbs. Spina. See how they came up quickly, Parramatta. Turning Spina back into the forwards. Here's Dunn. Lost. Sterling was there waiting for it. So he'll play the ball quickly and they'll stretch it probably. Out it goes to Laurie, and he turns it back into the middle. 32 metres out from the east line. Sterling running decoy. Mosley goes to the centre. Jerd is the dummy half. Roberts checking his 5. Long ball to Cronin. Deep to Kenny. Cut out pass to Ella. Into the back line again. Atkins. The ball loose. Knocked back by him, and it's back with Kenny. Taken by Simpkins. Ooh! Swinging arm over the top from Gibbs. Mosley. Sharp. Sharp takes it ahead, but he's met by the heavyweight second rower, Paul Dunn. Sterling, Cronin, cuts out Price. It's gone out to Lydiard. Lydiard puts the boot to it. It's not a bad looking kick, although he's going to have to put the pressure on himself. He's beaten by Worth and tackled by Sterling. Tobin, 15 metres out from the line. Ferguson, done, didn't get back and come onto it. Deep kick by Easts. Ella. Well, I ventured a guess that at fullback he would be even more dangerous than playing in the centres. And I'm pretty sure Graeme Hughes would agree that back there with so much latitude, he's already proving a thorn in the east side. Here's Hunt getting through a gap. Kenny looked on his outside, flicks it out the back door. That is not a knock-on. Well, I'm surprised that Roberts has ruled that way. The ball was thrown backwards, it bounced off a point and actually landed then eventually in front of the man who passed it, but that is not a knock-on. Stoppage in play as Gibbs is called out for Eastern Suburbs. See the ball flicked out the back by Kenny and then it bounced towards the opponent's goal line. I was talking about Steve Ella, Graeme. I didn't give you a chance to comment as Neil Hunt burst into an opening.
Well, the man's a very brilliant player, and he does appreciate room to move, and he's getting plenty of room to move today. The Parramatta tactics, though, Ray, are magnificent. They're not taking East up the middle. They're trying to run their big men, Dunn, Dave Brown and Tessman. They're trying to run them around, and they are struggling and getting to ruck very, very slowly. And that's why the backs themselves from Eastern Suburbs are being forced to come in and cover some gaps up the middle. And, of course, Parramatta are then finding them struggling out wide.
It's out to Spina. Turns it into the middle. Tobin couldn't take it. Simpkins has got it. Smothered by Laurie and Price. Here's Worth. He's a light stepper, Gary Worth. 15 metres out. 5 tackles gone. Dummy half is Spina. He kicks from that position. Sterling's underneath it. McGahn comes at him. He beats McGahn. He's away from Gibbs, but he's tackled in goal. Drop kick to restart from under the crossbar. Replacement, Graeme Hughes.
Peter Ford in 21 for Parramatta. He'll be going on for John Muggleton, who just can't get that ankle right. I believe he has torn some ligaments.
Well, it's bad luck for Muggleton. He's had nothing but wretched luck since a successful tour of England in '82. Drop kick now by Cronin. Taken by McGahn. A handoff to Gary Worth. And Peter Ford quickly into the action with Michael Mosley. Here's McGahn switching the attack, and it's Philippina hitting it up. Big Kiwi shrugging them off. It's a penalty. He's got Philippina, you'll find, for a knee to the face of an opposing player, Peter Ford. See it again. Philippina was doing his level best to get rid of the ball, and now you'll see it when he gets up. The right knee, crash. I don't think Peter Ford needed that. Well, that's a silly piece of play by Philippina. You've got the football, you don't give away penalties. Kenny. Ella into the back line again, but they've got him harnessed this time. Philippina and Willie Williams. Cronin, Laurie. All they want to do is stretch the ball to the extremities.
Steve Ella's reading that well, and he's dangerous every time he handles. And this is a real contrast for Parramatta. We're used to seeing Peter Sterling around, Paul Taylor around the rucks, helping Sterling to organise and up in the front line of defence as a fullback. But today for Parramatta, we've got a fullback who's going to get out wide and going to hit the ball between the centres.
Well, Money would have said to him, Bill, and you correct me if I'm reading it wrong, here's Jerd making a run up that flank on the showground side. He's tackled on 5. Money would have said to Ella, just get out there, do your own thing, have a good time and enjoy yourself and live in the back line.
And he knows where Parramatta are going to try to play this game, and so it suits him down to the ground.
There's Price coming up with it. It was a desperate situation for the Eels, and Spina is tackled by Ford. There's a clump of players over to the top right-hand corner of your screen. They all seem to be clutching ankles. And this is Williams tackled by Cronin. is Ferguson. Price is limping badly. Filipina, Worth cuts out Tobin, finds Dunn. Dunn got up. Oh, he tried to get a pass away to Gibbs. Adventurous play by Paul Dunn. Good piece of work, actually. The shame it didn't come off for him. This is Sterling. Sterling doing a bit of screaming back there. Price calling for help. Jerd. Stan Jerd, one of the characters of the game. He'd be enjoying this game plan today, wouldn't he, Stan? Here's Atkins. To the halfway. Here's Ella again. He's in the way. On the outside is Laurie. Here comes Atkins. It's a flick pass and it's gone to ground. It'll be a scrum 10 metres out from the east line. This was Ella running straight into the cameras. He beat the fullback, he committed the winger, that left Laurie and Atkins dealing with just Filipina, and Filipina, to his credit, chased and forced the error. Price back on his feet. Kenny, Cronin. Gibbs comes away with the ball. Gibbs is into an opening, he's over the halfway, inside the 40, the 32. Gibbs is going for the corner. He'll score! Gibbs has scored in the Paddington Hill corner. After Michael Cronin was tackled, the ball came shooting out of Cronin's grasp in a heavy tackle from Filipina. And Gibbs it was. See it again. Gibbs made the first tackle, but Filipina dumps Cronin very heavily. There's the ball, and away goes Gibbs like a thief in the night.
I thought here from the drop ball that Brett Kenny really could have got to Ron Gibbs. We can see here Gibbs running away from Kenny. Kenny dropped off him a little bit. Neil Hunt was unsure who to take. He stayed out on his man till the last minute. When he realised that he had to come in and make the tackle, it was too late. He missed Gibbs, and then all Gibbs had to do was pin his ears back, set his sights on the corner and do the rest. And that he did.
So Ron Gibbs, the try scorer. And this attempted conversion from on the 22 line for Elson Filipina. Looking into the sun. And he's only about 4 metres in from touch. Kicking into the M.A. Noble corner of the cricket ground. Hits it, it's got the length, it looks good. Now it's just wide. So Parramatta continue to lead by 6 points to 4. Arthur Beetson, the East coach. Booting it into that scoreboard corner. This is Wayne Chalice. I think his first touch of the game. Spina. Tackled by Kenny. Simpkins. Sharp across the top of Neil Hunt. This is Williams. McGann. Oh, done. Guilty of not looking at the ball coming to him, and Mosley comes up with some easy ball for Parramatta. Here's Laurie. There's a very tense atmosphere in the Parramatta room before this game. They realise the importance of it. There's Cronin. Now it's Hunt. Hunt's galloping down towards the quarterway line. He hears the call from Ella, and John Tobin covering beautifully. He really did that Eastern Suburbs number 8 proud with that tackle. Across to Kenny. Kenny holds it back, stands. He's still going, Kenny. Tackle about 9 metres out. He's never beaten until he's on the ground, Brett Kenny. Sterling, Mark Lowry. Lowry scores the easiest of tries in the final analysis. Well, the pressure was just too much for East to hold out and combat any longer. From the time Neil Hunt made that big incision down the right, and then when Brett Kenny was able to stand and do his own thing, and then it was just simply a case of a running forward, and Mark Lowry was to be the man.
Whenever you score a try against Parramatta, you've got to concentrate very hard in the next few minutes because they try to hit back immediately. Eastern Suburbs didn't do that, and there's the result of it.
Mark Lowry, one of Parramatta's hard-working players. He did some time in the centres, but he's one of the Lowry family from the Wauchope area, and he's certainly having a great season, is Mark Lowry. Cronin 1 from 2. 5.5 minutes to go. First half. 18 metres out. He stabs it. Beautiful. No worries for Cronin with that one. Parramatta 12. Eastern Suburbs 4. That Sydney Cricket Ground surface, Graeme, it looks like it's a rock. Very hard. In fact, I heard Stan Jerd say to the trainer, Joe Joseph, he said, plenty of grease today. Please, Joe, plenty of grease. Looks almost barren out there, Bill, doesn't it?
It does, and some of the grounds have got a similar look to them, and Belmore Oval's one that comes to mind. I think these players, particularly the Parramatta ones, would be used to this sort of a surface.
Here's Jerd. And Cronin turning it in for Kenny. Kenny to Lowry. Lowry comes to Dunn. And Dunn makes the tackle together with Dave Brown. 5 gone. Here's the kick for Sterling. The chase is there for Lydiard. The kick might be too full. No, it's a good one. It's with Worth. Lydiard came from behind Sterling. And there's the kicker himself making the tackle. Ferguson. Lowry the tackler. Williams. Spina. Tobin down injured, and there's a Parramatta player there too. I think it's Stan Jerd. It is. And here's Ferguson. Filipina. Simpkins. Dunn. There's trouble here for the Eels. Ball on the deck. Price goes in as hungry as ever to come up with a very valuable ball.
For a lot of people, those sorts of things might go unnoticed, but they're the mark of a great football.
Neil Hunt, punt to the halfway, comes to Worth and is taken by him and Gibbs.
Well, just follow that point on a little bit, Ray. Ray Price is the sort of fellow that he goes back and helps with bombs and drops on loose balls and so on, and those little skills, those fundamentals of the game are very often the difference between winning and losing.
Stan Jerd, Ray Price still limping a bit. Well, that's his natural gait, I think, when I think about it. I think Pricey almost believes that limp was hereditary. They win the scrum. Kenny. Now Teller. It's an interesting comment you make, Bill, about little things in a game like you saw from Price there, cleaning up that loose ball. Here's Peter forward to the 22 line. East's defence reeling back, trying to recompose. It's come out to Cronin. Short ball for Kenny. And Kenny is held about 15 metres away. The ball has been taken from him. It's a penalty to Parramatta. He's 8 metres in. 22 out. He's got it. Cronin kicks the penalty. Parramatta leading East by 14 points to 4. Those thighs on Filipina. Is he trying to tackle them head on? Steve Ella. Steve Ellery. Australia's favourite reserve. What a joke. Sharp tackle. East tackle count on the screen, 132 in all, and Paul Dunn has made 19 of them. Parramatta have only been required to make 64 in contrast, and Steve Sharp, with what must be an all-time record low, actually tops the count. But such has been the pattern of this game. Parramatta has held possession for 82 tackles, East 43, and the Eels lead 14-4. It's the restart by Olsen Filipina. I was just looking at Stan Jerd coming back for the second half. He actually limped out onto the ground. And there he is, as you can see, limping on camera. I can't imagine why they'd persevere with him. Graeme, you've got... hang on a second. Kenny putting Hunt down the ground and to the 22 line. Got a comment to offer there, Graeme?
Ray, as Stan Jerd made his way back onto the field, he obviously impressed upon them in the dressing room that he was fine, but I just noticed he got about 10 or 15 metres from the sideline and he screamed out to the trainers who were late in following him out onto the field that no, my knee's no good, and I'll try and hang here for a couple of minutes, get somebody out as soon as possible.
He's going to be a big loss for Parramatta if he's got to leave the field, because he's been the one forward that has been taking the ball apart, and he's been the platform by which they've been able to then use their back line.
So Eastern Suburbs with Tessman tackled about 15 metres into Parramatta's area. Handling errors 10-10. Oh gee, if Parramatta were to lose another front row forward. 11-11 the missed tackle count. East have got to score early in the second half. They're doing a pretty fine job of it at the moment. Filipina held by Mosley and Kenny.
Jerd's completely gone in the back play.
Quite an incredible sequence of events with Jerd. But here's Parramatta coming up with the ball. That was the turnover, eh? I misread the indication from Roberts. Simpkins is down injured for East. Back on his feet. Here's Ford. Could you imagine them losing another front row forward? Parramatta already bugged them as watching from the sidelines. Mears, Stewart, a hooker, front rower. Who's coming on, Grant?
Don Price in 26 making his way down the ground now.
Sterling kicks. Here's the brother of Ray Price coming out. Heavily concussed in last week's match. I'm surprised he even played today in reserve. Here's Tessman, tackled by Mosley. So Jerd's gone. Williams. Graham taking it up. Mosley hitching a ride. Spina comes away with it. And Don Price and Ray Price make the tackle. Away goes Spina, tackled by Sharp. 5 gone for Eastern Suburbs. Here's Gary Worth putting up a high kick. It's going to come down on the 22 line. And he's kicked it again. It's been kicked again by Chalice, but the referee has called playback.
In regards contesting this ruling by Kevin Roberts, he's indicating that he kicked at the ball and didn't knock it on.
Scrum win to Parramatta. This is Kenny. Sterling on the run around. Cronin if he can get it away, but he can't. Here's Hunt. Don Price. Sterling. This is Ford. Desperate tackle by Brad Tessman. Sterling again. Cronin. Short ball for Lydiard. He's up to the halfway. Fullback comes at him. But Steve Allen's gone with the ball. Chased by Willie Williams. Won't catch him. And Steve Allen scores. Steve Allen scores. Another Parramatta try. Well, Steve Allen has made had some breaks today, but never, I imagine, has he been asked to cover so much ground. This man has played very well. David Lydiard positioned his outside man, Steve Ella, beautifully. And we've seen this shot on the pictures today before. Steve Ella. Another try for the blue and golds.
Parramatta are masters at stacking these short blind sides. They have a lot of people in a very small space, and what you've got to do in defence is match them. You've got to have as many players in defence as they've got in attack. Eastern Suburbs didn't have that. It created the overlap. Lydiard made the split. He drew the fullback, shifted the ball onto Elder, and he crosses for a very good and a well-planned try.
And there he is, Steve Ella. One zip and you're zapped. Cronin's hit it like a Robin Hood arrow. Straight over the Black Dogs, and the score 20-4. Two-man wall, and Simpkins comes back to the blind to be tackled. Done. It's Tobin. Met I was going to say his opposite number, but it was Don Price on that occasion making the tackle. Philip Piner flicks it out the back for Tessman. But all he did was flick him some trouble, because Mosley and Laurie were ready for Tessman. Here's Simpkins shooting it back for Tobin. Tackle by Cronin. We've got Balmain and Illawarra, Balmain and Canberra tomorrow night. Monday Night Football here at the cricket ground. Kick across the ground by Philip Piner. Ella's there to take it. Met by Paul Dunn. And McGahn seemed to injure an ankle in that piece of play. See it again. Ella covering. And McGahn shooting up that bottom left-hand corner of the screen. He picked up a slight ankle injury. Off, I think, the leg of Paul Dunn. Played by Mosley. He got up to play it, and he thought the East player was a marker, but the East player was down and hasn't moved yet. So Mosley just played the ball ahead. It's Dave Brown who's sick. Cronin, Kenny, wrapped up by Williams.
Once again, Parramatta were looking to make yardage down that short blind side. They had 5 or 6 players on about a 15-metre narrow side.
The kick by Sterling has gone way down into the in goal for Gary Worth, and he's tackled just beyond the 10-metre line. Ferguson, 3 of them required to stop him.
I think if he was in my team, I'd be trying to get him a little bit more ball.
Tobin, Dave Brown back. Dunn. Price around the legs, Ray Price. This is Simpkins turning it back for Philip Piner to reach the 32 and turn it out the back for Tessman. 5 gone. McGahn. It's that big kick in. Ella's looking at it. And there it is. He's played at the ball and it's gone off his hand. In the touch, it'll be an East loose head and an East feed. Here was Ella doing his best, but when it hit the ground, it just went zoom, right angles and over the touchline. Fed and won by the Roosters. And Gary Worth wrapped up by Brett Kenny. Back on the 22. Philip Piner. Don Price went in. He tried to take him head on and low, but he paid the penalty. Through now to Dunn. Short ball to Williams. Tackler was Mosley with Atkins. Spina. Good tackle that by Mark Laurie. Well, they set it up, and McGahn was looking for that hole in behind to play the ball, but Peter Ford was waiting for him together with Laurie. Spina gets a bomb up, knocked down by Kenny. Price takes it. They may try and push the ball straight away. It's gone to Sterling, now to Hunt. Hunt's got Lydiard running with him, but he seemed to lose him, and Gibbs makes the tackle. Here's Lydiard going dangerously close to that touchline. He's about 4 metres in from it. And now Mosley, Hunt on the run around. East player down again. I think it's Dave Brown's copped it again. Sterling's kick. Wayne Chalice has played at it, so everybody's onside, whether in front of the kicker or not. There's poor Dave Brown. He's been in the wars in the last minute. Everywhere he goes, he finishes up getting one on the nose. The trouble is nobody's been aiming at it. This is Spina. Knocked down by the Eels. It'll be 6 more if they get it, but they don't. It's a blue and gold ball. Played by Don Price. Sterling to Ella, into the back line. Stands, back for Sterling. Now to Kenny. Floats it over the top for Lydiard. Inside goes Cronin and Atkins. This is Lydiard. And he went down badly on that leg. He's all right, though. It's gone across now for Kenny. He hurdles one. That leg of Lydiard's, it's not good. I thought as much. Sterling, his Mark Laurie out wide. Sterling wraps around him. Now it's Ray Price. Neil Hunt has got it, but Ferguson had to come in off his flank and was sitting waiting for him. Played now, and it's gone to Mosley, wrapping it to the blind. Now it's Sharp, back to Mosley. There's a knock on, is it? Yep. And a scrum just inside the East 32. Lydiard's up. He went over badly on that leg. I shudder every time I see a player tackled like that. Paul Mayers will tell you something about it. And here it is again, the run by David Lydiard. And here's the tackle. You see how his leg went down and under? Change, Graeme.
Mike McLean in 22 for the man who was continuing the wars, Dave Brown.
Here's Filipina. Back to Spina. Cronin's had to come in. And coming across is Ford. He's done a fair bit of work, Peter Ford, since he came on. As there's Ferguson. Over halfway. Around Sterling. Chased by Kenny and caught by Kenny. This is Simpkins. Don Price hanging on for dear life. McLean was the dummy half, through 2 sets of hands to Filipina. Back inside, he's 15 out. 20 points to 4 currently in favour of the Eels. Dunn. And that was a good ball to McGowan, but he couldn't take it. And Lydiard's got the ball, and I doubt that Lydiard needs the ball at the moment. Ella's long pass to Sterling, over to Laurie, now to Kenny. Kenny takes the tackle, finds Atkins. Atkins looking into the middle of the ground, decides to take it to ground with him. Dummy half Mosley. Every opportunity they get, Parramatta, they want to push the ball around. It's entertaining stuff. Played by Don Price. Here's Sterling. And Millie promoting it for Ford, but Spina goes away with it, throws the dummy. Kenny cuts him down. Ferguson's got the ball. Ferguson stands inside for McGowan. McGowan swamped to the ground by both David Lydiard and Michael Mosley. 5 metres out from the line. Now they're 15 out. It's back to Dunn, and Dunn has taken it back to about the 8-metre point. Played by him, Spina, Simpkins to Gibbs, and Gibbs has scored! Determined try by Ron Gibbs.
Suburbs try scored by number 4, Ron Gibbs, his second try.
Well, this is how you should get back and hit the ball. Simpkins ran across, he ran at Sterling, obliged him, and Gibbs, he set himself for the try line.
Parramatta didn't number off very well here. There was really no one marking Gibbs. Ray Price elected that he had to come in and make the tackle, but you don't see that too often. He missed Ron Gibbs, and Gibbs' momentum carried him over under the post.
So a try right under the black dot for Eastern Suburbs. So Filipina converts the Gibbs try. 20 points to 10 in favour of Kenny. He's beaten Price. Jesus, strong man, isn't he? Well, there's a perfect example of the two Ulsing Filipinas. The pass and then that block-busting run where he beat two of the best tacklers in the game of rugby league, Brett Kenny and Ray Price. Here's Tessman. Ball lost. And he's going to pack a scrum. $20-10 in favour of the Eels over the Roosters. He'll call this scrum back, I think. No, he wants it in. Against the feed, won by East. And it's East with Laurie Spina. Pursued by Steve Ella. He's got him. No, he's beaten him. Gary Worth it is. Gary Worth. Well, he's a very fleet-footed customer, but I thought Steve Ella had him for sure. See it again. Spina went around the scrum, and Worth came in, went between Price and Kenny, and Ella looked like he had him for sure. But Gary Worth away from the tackle and scores another East try. So this match is back wide open again.
This try is purely the result of missed tackles. Ray Price got out of the scrum quick enough in cover defence but couldn't affect the tackle. Worth showed a lot of pace here. Ella tried to go with him, realised that he couldn't, and so he left the ground, but he just quite couldn't get close enough to get his shoulder to make contact. And that was the reason he missed it. The shoulder's got to be the first point of contact in any tackle. Worth pulled through it and over he goes.
Also, an exhibition of the value of winning a scrum against the feed. Filipina, 9 metres in, 22 out. The kick is good. Great kick by Elson Filipina. 20-16 now. The Roosters coming back. Well, right now, it's not just a case of Parramatta. Of course, it's more a case now of getting the 2 premiership points. Hang the for and against.
This is a very difficult period of time for Parramatta because the Eastern Suburbs are the ones that are getting a roll on. They're playing with a lot of confidence and they're storming home. And Parramatta, for all intents and purposes, have just got to try to hang on, and that can be difficult.
Ferguson. Elusiveness of the man. McLean. Dunn.
They made easy yardage then, Eastern Suburbs. All they did was take the ball up for 3 tackles. Here we can see Simpkins skipping out of dummy half. Ineffective defence by Parramatta. They've got to get their game in order and get it in order quickly.
There's Gibbs. Williams. Filipina. Tessman to the 32. Filipina backs him up and takes it to the quarter-way line. Spina. McGann. McLean. Put down by East, and it'll be Parramatta's ball. Oh, what pressure. Kenny. Sideline comment, Graeme.
Ray, you just used the most key word in this last 10 or 12 minutes, pressure. We're just about to find out what a good side Parramatta might be under pressure, because they certainly started the match that way. They had to come up with a solid victory after Canterbury applied the pressure because of that victory over South yesterday. And I think the team that might win this one is the team that doesn't push the ball under circumstances where they're passing to players that are in worse positions than themselves.
Well, I guess Ray Price typified that just there. Sterling. This is Worth, the try scorer, beating Mosley, although he's sort of ankle tapped him. Tobin. They hung off Tobin, and away goes Tallis. He's blinding with speed, this fellow. He's going to score. Yes, that's the equaliser. What a great comeback by the Roosters. Have a look at Arthur. give this lot at half-time. But John Tobin, they hung off him, and they hung off him too long, and Wayne Jallis was off, and Filipina can boot East to the lead.
I thought Steve Ella made the mistake here of standing still for too long. He should have come straight forward to Chalice as soon as he came through the defensive line. Once he was standing still, Chalice had a decision to make. He could go either way. He elected to run to his left, and he had too much speed and went on with the job.
Can he put East in front? We'll soon know. There's the kick. He's got it. The Roosters are in front by 22 points to for it. Mightn't have been the right kick, Bill. When you think about it, 22 to 20 in front, 10 minutes to go. Giving Parramatta back possession 40 metres out. But now, it's not a case of giving the ball to a player in a worse position than yourself. As Graeme Hughes pointed out quite rightly a few minutes back, it's a case of playing catch-ups for Parramatta. Grand final stuff required. Price ducking under tackles inside the 32-metre point.
The men they'll be looking to pull this game out of the fire, they're internationals. The Peter Sterlings, Kennys and Cronins and so on. They're the ones that can do it for them.
Cronin tackled. 32 out on 5. They hit the blind, and Sterling has his kick charge down by Eastern Suburbs, so it'll be a Parramatta feed. Won by the Eels. Kenny, Cronin, Ella, jolting tackle by Williams. Ella trying to get up and play it. Sharp. 35 metres out from the line. 8.5 to go. This is Setri. 32 metres out. That there is the fourth tackle, I believe. And Mosley's put it out the back. Desperate stuff. Parramatta still has the ball. 5 gone. Stephen Sharp to play it. Brad Tessman injured for East. It's gone to Brad Kenny, now to Cronin. Cutting out players. It's gone to Ella. Was it knocked down by East? I'm not sure. No, he's ruled that the turnover. Tessman back on his feet. Here's Filipina. Ferguson. Right on the halfway line. Spina. Tobin. Simpkins. Gary Worth's kick. Garn tries to kick it again, and it's come down to Price. So it's Parramatta with the ball, midway between 22 and halfway, their own end of the ground. Sharp, strong run by Sharp. He's playing like a man inspired at the moment. Setri. Price. Parramatta bumbling their way through this set of 6. Sterling, Kenny, Cronin, back into the middle. Ella's got the ball. Grabbed by Michael McLean, he's lost it. Filipina's got it. Well, when you're trailing by 2 points, you're prone to make mistakes like the Eels are at the moment. Spina. Tobin. Dunn. McLean. Ferguson drops it onto the right foot, tries to regather, tackled by Price. Kenny's got the ball for Parramatta. There's 5.5 minutes of time remaining as Ella goes to the 22 line. Setri. Sterling. Long ball to Cronin. Short one for Lydiard. But he's taken by Ferguson. Just looking through the faces in the Parramatta pack. And very few of them from the original set. Price, one of them. There's Kenny. Williams took him. Atkins inside for Hunt. And Hunt over the touchline. But of the original pack chosen, there's only Sharp, Mosley and Price left. Inside the last 5 minutes now.
Come on, Eddie! Come on! Come on!
Spina. Chalice. Filipina. Tobin. And Simpkins. East doing exactly what they should be. Nothing fancy, keeping it close to the chest. Filipina puts up the bomb. Sterling's underneath it. There's a charge coming down on him. It's come down to Mosley. He must have ruled this ball came back off Eastern Suburbs. Here's Lydiard, tackled in the middle of the ground. Sterling, Setri, Ella outside 32, Atkins to the halfway. Atkins back into the middle of the ground, gets his pass away for Setri. He's gone into the other half of play. This is Don Price. He stands, gets the pass away for Hunt. Hunt is bombarded from behind by Tessman. Desperate stuff by the Eels. They can almost see the sudden death semi-final looking them in the eyes now. Kenny goes himself. Kenny to the 22, and Ron Gibbs is there to take it for the Roosters. I thought for a moment the dual try scorer from Wembley, Brett Kenny, was going to do it all himself. But Gibbs was there to make a fantastic save of it. Gibbs plays it on his own 22. This is Ferguson. So Parramatta have got to try and keep East down here and then get their last throw of the dice. Simpkins, Dunn, making a lot of ground, Eastern Suburbs. Ferguson. Spina. 5 tackles, that is. Right there. The kick from McGahn. Desperate attempt to charge down by Price. And Ella's let it bounce. He's got the ball and off he goes to his own quarter-way line. That ball must have bounced an inch inside the field of play. Sterling, they're spreading it over to Hunt. Hunt away now to Mosley. And Mosley's trapped by Brad Tessman. Sterling. This is Mark Laurie with a big run out to the 32-metre point. Seconds remaining as Sterling floats a torpedo ball across to Setri. Tackled on the 22. Picked up by Mosley. Mosley gets it away for Lydiard. Lydiard still going across the ground. Now he gets it to Sterling. He drew plenty in Lydiard. Don Price around the corner to Laurie. Neil Hunt's got to go inside. He does, but knocks on. And East have got the ball. Filipina. He's lost it. But lost backwards, and no, Parramatta's got it. No, I'm sorry, I thought Parramatta had come up with it. I think Kevin Roberts may have too for a second, but now it's Simpkins to play it. Tessman. Simpkins. Tessman, tackled by Don Price. There's the siren. Eastern Suburbs have won, and look at the smile on Big Arthur's face. 20 points to 4 down. They have won by 22 to 20. Gibbs, 2 tries. Worth and Chalice tries. Filipina, 3 goals. And for Parramatta, Ray Price, Mark Laurie, and Ella the tries. Cronin 4 goals. An unbelievable comeback by Eastern Suburbs.
Johnny, take you back a few weeks ago, the draw against St George, one of the close ones that's gone each way.
Finally, mate, we had a bit of luck. We worked for it, I thought. All to our credit that we came back.
To be honest, it looked to be a matter of how far the victory was going to go.
But that's what we thought, yeah. But please, they gave it to us at half time, and I think we all had a look at ourselves and thought, well, we can do it.
I'll let you go and celebrate. Well done. Eastern Suburbs jubilant captain John Tobin. After the break, our man of the match.
Somewhat of an upset result here at the Sydney Cricket Ground. Our man of the match is the Eastern Suburbs hooker Robert Simpkins. Congratulations, Rob. You were down 20 to 4. The game looked like it was gone, and you weren't convinced, and somehow or other you fought back.
Yeah, Bill Arthur at half time got us in the room to give us a bit of a caning about not going up on the line, and we certainly got that into shape in the second half and kicked on from there.
You're not a specialist hooker, and some people say that you don't need one in modern day football, but you won a scrum against the Feed today, and it resulted in a try that turned the match.
Yeah, well, I've been playing there, 8 weeks now, I suppose, and every little bit helps, and today I just won one of the things, won one against the